When it comes to knives, like the first thing they tell you when they start letting you use knives is don't hold something and cut it in your hand and cut away from yourself. So always cut away from yourself in scouts. They tell you that. I didn't listen. Apparently, I thought that I was too cool for school, and I cut my finger so bad it hurt. It was one of those things. I know people who like cut their finger off, and it wasn't like that. I'm just being a crybaby, but like the blood was blue. It was one of those things where it takes a second to start bleeding. You're like, did it? What hurts that much if I'm seriously not bleeding yet? And then it does, and the blood's all blue. Anyway, I did that yesterday while I was on the phone with IKEA, but I was totally cool. I didn't betray a note of agony on the phone to the guy. I still handled biz. I wanted to tell you about a couple of things. Oh yeah, just beat my shirt out. I've had this for a long time. This is my. I like to think of it as my Pride Mario shirt. My mom got it for me years and years and years ago, and I don't know. I don't know where she got it. Come to think of it, I can't. I cannot recall, but I like it a lot, and I just wanted to big it up because I was wearing it today. I also want to show you a little 7-inch here. I found this at a Value Village here in Ottawa, and uh, you can't see. Anyway, it's "I'll Never Fall in Love Again" by Johnny Ray. Not not Johnny Ray who did that terrible like 1997 "Who Wants to Know About Me" song. It's the song that was sampled by Portishead for Biscuit. Like the really sad song at the end of their first album. "I'll never fall in love again." That one. And they must have used the 45 because I figure they're scratching it played down at 33. Anyway, I was really happy to find that record. It's a very cheerful song, even though it's really on the same topic. But I'd play it for you, but obviously none of that's gonna work. Um, oh yeah, I want to show you also something else I got. I got this on eBay. It is a Nova Scotia belt buckle. What y'all know about that? I was looking really hard for a Nova Scotia flag belt buckle, and the only one I found, like not just on eBay, but the whole internet, and the only one I found um, was cheap plastic and had these insanely gaudy fake diamonds all around the edge of it. Um, it would have looked ridiculously bad. I couldn't go for it. But the one I got is like nice and vintage. It's weird though. It hooks in a weird way, and it's tearing this cheapo belt apart. But at least I'm repping. I figured, if I'm not going to be living back home for a long time, I oughta rep. But man, if you get a lead on an actual Nova Scotia flag belt buckle, I would love to have one of those, as long as it doesn't look too corny. It reminds me of back in like the late '90s at some point when I was still a big Jewel fan. Um, Steve Poltz came to town, and Steve Poltz I knew as a collaborator with Jewel. He co-wrote some of the songs on her first album, including like Adrian and "You Were Meant for Me," and like probably maybe the most insipid song in the world. Although she did sort of prove with the flying solo she could get a lot worse than that. Um, but he came to town, and that's how I knew him. And I knew he had a band before called the Rugburns, which I'd never heard. And he just did these solo performances. And I guess he's from Nova Scotia, like rural Nova Scotia, so his family was all out, and it was very exciting for him. And I think he moved out of the province when he was 12 or 13. Um, and he had a song that he wanted audience participation to do. And I saw him twice in one day. I saw him at an HMV in store, and I saw him again. Oh, he just put out this album, One Left Shoe, um, on Mercury Records, and I actually brought a white canvas left shoe to get him to sign because I'm clever like that. Still have it somewhere, but and then at night I saw him at the Economy Shoe Shop, and at the shoe shop he got some crowd participation. He asked a couple of people to come up on stage, and he taught them the harmony parts. And he had this song called Nova Scotia that he says he wrote when he was 12 or 13, and like just before he left, I guess. And it goes, the one part goes, "Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia, it's my home and I'll die there." And then there's the part that goes, "No ho 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 Nova Scotia." And then when it goes just Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia, and he taught these three people, and he also divided the crowd into two parts to do the harmony parts. And then he borrowed a cell phone from the crowd and called his dad, got us all to sing it to him. Uh, what I'm saying is he's a really good performer. At least he was, in the late '90s. Who knows what the intervening years have done to him? He had some pretty dope songs. I've never wound up checking out any of that Rugburn stuff. I wonder if it was as good as he made it seem at the show. The one other thing I wanted to tell you about um, in my allotted video time is we just got a package in the mail this morning. It's some of our first mail from friends here in Ottawa, and it was a little. Check it out. Okay, blue envelope, just addressed to the Dangerous Lees, and no return address. Ooh, it's a mystery. What is it? And inside was this card, which says, "Congratulations on your new home," and it's signed our good friends Nick and Emily. And also in there was, oh, can I hold these up? Very nicely packaged, a set. Probably looks like uncooked noodles or something on the webcam, but it's a. They're not cozies per se. They're crocheted um, socks for our dining room table and chairs. Because I'll just show you. There, see? She did some when they were visiting us a couple weeks ago. When we got our table from IKEA, it just didn't have any of the normal, um, the things that you stick on the bottom of it to make it not scrape. And so Emily got right to work crocheting us little socks for it. And so the big ones go on the table and the little ones go on the chairs. And that's very sweet of you, Emily. Thanks very much for doing that. We're definitely going to have the cutest dining room table in Ottawa. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little yakking at, and I hope that you still like me after I'm finished it. This has been Jesse Dangerously, your best friend for life. Sorry. And the awkward part where you press the button at the end.